Hey everyone, welcome to Crossroad Conversations with the Lewis brothers, where we aim to share real stories about running a successful family business while working through adversity and pouring back into our community that keeps our doors open every single day. We're your hosts, Shelby, Matt, and Taylor, and we'll be bringing you real, relevant local business advice, maybe some automotive insights that are sure to change the way you look at running a business or buying a car, and maybe even throw in a plug for you to do business with us here locally.
So resetting standards without destroying morale, that's sometimes really difficult to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we kind of a little bit talked about that of our thought and that process of how it goes, but you have to reset that expectation cleanly.
Yeah.
Like you have to think, okay, how do I do this while addressing it without upsetting the operation, but understanding this needs to be done and this needs to be reset. And I think it's a little bit of, you do it before it's boiling, right? And so it's not built up in this and this, and I'm mad about this, and you're doing this wrong and this wrong. And so if you do it on a normal manner, but then also one thing that we're not great at, and sometimes we need to go back and watch these podcasts ourselves, but is having those one-on-one conversations when it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to take a minute and break this down and close my door and say, or have you in my office and say, hey, last month you did great. You were 20% above everyone else.
Sure.
Hey, you did this, this, and this. And that's all, right? I just want to say, good job. I appreciate you. I see you. Have a great day.
Because those are just as important.
Those are important, and then also allows you, so when you have a tough conversation, you're like, dude's always just whacking me. Like, no, he brought me in last time and told me good job.
I think I know it's very important too. If you are changing something, an expectation or a standard, you've got to very, very direct call that out. This is changing.
Yeah.
This goal, this process, this procedure that used to be in place is no longer.
And let me tell you, because we have certain employees that navigate certain ways.
Yep.
You need to have that in-person conversation.
Yep.
Hey, here's what we were doing. Here's now what we're doing. Here's the replacement. And you need to have proof. And it's proof because our memories aren't that great. And we just had one the other day that they thought they were getting 10 days and it was 7 days. So you have to have that conversation in person, and you need to follow up with a memo sheet of paper or document that's signed that we're all on the same page. And if it's a text, because there's some people that I will text, and it's not because I don't want to have a conversation. One, maybe it needs to be a big conversation. Yeah. But I'll text it back over, and I'm like, hey, just so we are all on the same page.
Just to recap what we talked about.
Just to recap so we're all on the same page. So if there was, I kind of thought like we maybe would move to that. Like, no. We were very clearly said, today is the day we will now move over to this process, and here's what it is. So document that and make sure everyone has that. So if they need reference, they can go back to it.
Man, there is nothing but a better feeling that if you have something documented and you need to re-go over it, takes all the emotion out and be like, hey, back on October 28th,
right here.
Here's where we went
over this. Dude, we had that in I have Otter AI that records all of my meetings.
Yeah.
Or a majority of them, right? If I don't have an invite, it doesn't do it. But the other day when we were in construction, and we've been in construction for 4 years now?
No, it's more than that.
84 years now we've been in construction.
Appreciate y'all going to the meetings.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Yeah. And so then they were like, well, this and this and this and this. And Matt was like, blatantly was like, no, we went over this. I gave you the drawings. And he was like, well, if you refer to 38.641, you'll see here where McClellan sent this over. It's like, I hired the engineer. I hired the architect. I don't know what they did with that, but here's where I saw it was wrong.
Yeah.
And I gave you the snippets. Now, I'm not an architect, and I didn't put it back in the structural drawings and send it back to the city for approval and gone back over to McClellan to come back over to here. And so then while they were talking about that, then these gutters came up, and so I was just over here searching. I was like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? And I was like, oh, yeah, in November 2024. And I'll quote, John said, well, we don't want the Lewises to not be happy with what they paid for. They paid for this product, and that's not what was delivered, so Nabholz will make it right.
Yeah.
And so then there's no emotions.
There's no emotions.
Right? And it's like, okay, do you need a copy of this? Do we have any questions? What's next on the agenda?
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
so much better.
Thoughts and feelings and
And it feels really good for you as a person. Whenever somebody's kicking, and you want to just smack them straight in the
Oh, I
head.
wanted that to them, but
It's so much easier and non-confrontational, and it hits so much harder than you doing whatever you thought you were going to do of like, no, great. And the better part of it is, you just talked about this a little bit ago, you don't have to control your emotion from going like this, then to
Yeah.
reset back down.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, here you go. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on this.
Yep.
And you leave it and you move on.
Yep.
You move on there.
That's
So of rolling through that, how do you enforce consistency across your managers?
You make sure that you've communicated expectations.
Okay.
And then, no different than what you just talked about with the documents, you review whatever the KPIs are on an individual basis, and you go over that.
Yep.
And, this past year, it started March of last year, if y'all remember, we went to a different level of KPIs and variables.
Mm-hmm.
And it evolved over the year, each month to month. But that's how we hold each one of our managers at a consistent level of expectations.
Yes.
If you don't, we were in the airport yesterday and we were talking about another department. And we're like, why haven't we developed the KPIs in that department yet? Because we've got an individual in that department thinking they're killing it.
Yeah.
We know they're not killing it, but they're just looking at one part. You got to
not
look at the
clear.
metrics. It's got to
Yes.
be clear.
Yes. You can put them in every single department. It's not just, in our case, sales service, whatever it would be. It's in every department.
Every single department.
Yes. Well, and I think,
they do in school too. Like,
Yeah.
I got to think about, so right before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
My seventh grader, I think it was just my seventh grade, yeah, because middle school didn't have it. So junior high, if you had perfect attendance, they had then allowed you to get out a few days before the Christmas break. So were there like 3 or 4 additional days that my oldest didn't go back to school because he had perfect attendance, because they had set out expectations and they had tracked it. And at 12 years old, here's what happens when you have a goal
Yeah.
and there's no arguing it.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's good.
That is so good. So diving into there, and I love this. I just have to hit this point of this, and we will be of going through overall leadership. But accountability without ego is so important for a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, because generally you feel like management equals ego, right? Hey, I'm here because I'm the best, I'm good, da-da-da. It's so hard to find or to be that humble leader. And like, that generally is more of where we would side towards than that ego person. That's just, we were blessed to be that way, but that's not normal, right? And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying you're going to have to be on the other side of the people. Their ego is going to be super high, and understanding that you can have accountability without having to stroke that ego or put that ego down. Like, here's the facts, here's what we're working on, here's what the expectations are. Do what you want with the ego, but let's put it down.
Hey, thermometer for you, and I know we're just, this has taken a lot of hard work, but we just grew up this way. If you ever tell somebody do it because I said so or because my position, ding, 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 you need to work on your ego.
That's a quick tell time, because I'm your manager, because I said so, because I'm the owner. Like, just, that's so, like, you shouldn't have to say that. And if you do feel like you're saying that, you haven't earned the trust of those people.
That, you have an ego and you have an issue and you're not very good at managing and leading.
Yep.
That's exactly what it
Because
is.
you're not really showing them the facts and how they can be better.
Yep.
And it's harder to do. It's easy to say, do it because I'm in control. Do it because I'm the owner.
Yep.
But what do you get out of that?
Nothing. Like, you haven't gained anything. And if they do it, it's going to be subpar.
It's out of spite. And it's like,
and
it's
mad
not
the whole
good.
time,
And so you can ask some questions. So like, hey, tell me, in this process, where are we dropping the ball? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then instead of saying, hey, just do it. And sometimes I feel
want
like
to.
that. Just like,
I do too.
just do it. Like, why should I have to explain it? Just do it. That's your job. But we had some people the other day, and it's funny, we went over this in Cake Day, and we get out a employee of the month, and it's not based on performance. It's based on, their ability to help others and go above and beyond. And we always talk about these people, and generally it's the same attributes from different people.
Sure.
But it's going above and beyond and doing things that people don't, it's the walking through the parking lot and picking up the trash when that's not their job.
Mm-hmm.
But recently had some employees that management told me that was like, hey, why aren't we doing this? Like, what's the hang up here? Is it not work? And he's like, well, I went through this and I was like, okay, well, let's train everyone again. So we did on the showroom, train this whole delivery tool. And, so then I went back over the next day and I bought an iPad and I was like, hey, this might be part of the issue. They don't have a way to do that work.
Yeah.
So I got on my iPad. I was like, hey, let's log in. They said, I don't have a login. So, oh, perfect. Let's get you a login. And so it was a 24-hour, I was like, here, let me log in for you. I was like, hey, do you know how to do this? And they said, no, I don't know how to do this. I said, oh, okay. Did you not do training? And they said, no. I said, okay, well, Tuesday, were you not sitting in that truck? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, hold on. So I went back to the manager. I was like, were they not in the training? They're like, yeah. And so they went back over to them, and I went back and I couldn't find them. They had fled the scene by that point because I was about to take them, put them in the same room with the manager and say, where are we lost in translation here? But when it came down to it, they told the manager, that's not my job. That's like, I will not fire somebody off the cuff without pure facts and time tools and training, which is a long process. That is the quickest way for me want to fire somebody.
Exactly.
And so in the cake day, I was like, hey, this is the award for the people that never say it's not my job. And I don't want to hear that out of anyone's mouth that that's not my job. Mm-hmm. But in today's world, it's still out there.
It is.
Right?
It is. That's a good point.
Yeah, it is. So last question, wrapping it up there. What's one thing I'm personally tightening up on starting soon, starting tomorrow?
I'm going to say address quicker, right? It's just like a constant reminder of that. Address quicker. Good, bad, and ugly. Address it quicker.
I was going to say the identical thing. I'll just add, so I feel like I added something, is just have the facts. When I address it, have the facts.
Yep, yep, yep.
And if we go over something, write it down or send it over in a text so we've got that timestamp of it.
Yeah, I think that's so good. Making sure you have the facts, that everyone involved has the facts, HR has the facts. And so then when you address that quicker, you can say, hey, here's where we're at, just so we're on the same page. Because sometimes we put an evaluation or a write-up or a pro forma, whatever it may be, we put it on a pedestal, and it has to be so official.
Yeah.
And HR is saying, no, just in a conversation or text, that was something, just document it there.
That's good.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today on episode 76 of Crossroad Conversations with Lewis Brothers. Remember always, lewissuperstore.com for all your automotive needs, and Crossroad Conversation podcast across all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can watch it, you can listen to it. Make sure you subscribe so you get the latest and greatest, and we'll see you soon. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends and family. Even visit our website, send us the questions about what you want to know, what you want to hear. Tell us about the automotive industry, family business in general. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you have. But make sure you tune in next time where we bring in another guest and we talk more about the automotive industry and all the great things going on within our business.